I know you've already tried everything to shift your reality. You filled entire pages with words that almost felt like answers. You've stayed up late, whispering affirmations into the dark, hoping the universe might finally hear you. You've watched videos, read books, made lists, manifested, visualized, prayed, cried, all in the name of becoming someone who feels free. But deep down, you can feel it, that quiet, dull heaviness sitting beneath everything. It's not loud enough to scream, but it's steady enough to make the world lose its color. It's that strange kind of stuckness, not because you're not trying, but because you're trying so hard that it's almost like you're running in circles. It's like being frozen inside a moment you never chose, watching the world move while you stay anchored to a place you don't belong to anymore. And here's the part no one talks about. It's not that what you tried didn't work. It's that a part of you is still caught between who you were and who you're trying to become. The part of you that listens to messages like this and thinks, yes, I get it, but never lets those words settle deep enough to create a real shift. We've all been there. Lying in bed with headphones in, watching someone else talk about transformation, and secretly hoping it will spark something inside. Repeating, "This time will be different," like a quiet prayer, as if becoming new is something that happens overnight. But here's the truth that stings a little. Change doesn't respond to curiosity. It responds to alignment, to presence, to surrender. Until the world inside of you aligns with the world you're trying to build, your habits, your energy, your beliefs, nothing will truly click. Because energy follows attention. And if your attention is scattered, uncertain, or tangled in fear, your life will mirror that back to you. But this isn't a message to make you feel like a failure. This is a reminder that the power was never missing. It was always inside you. You just never learned how to access it gently. And today, maybe for the first time, you're starting to turn toward that quiet place within yourself. The breakthrough isn't a task. The world taught us to chase transformation like a goal, as if peace can be scheduled, as if healing has a finish line you can cross if you just try hard enough. But real breakthroughs don't announce themselves with fanfare. They don't happen because you checked off every box on a list. They arrive like a whisper, like a soft exhale after years of holding your breath, like the quiet realization that you don't have to keep proving you deserve to heal. Change happens the moment you stop trying to force the door open, the moment your body releases what your mind has been gripping so tightly, the moment you finally whisper to yourself, "I don't need to fight anymore." And suddenly, not dramatically, but deeply, everything shifts. Not because life suddenly bends to your will, but because you stopped treating your soul like a battlefield. It was never about doing more. It was always about letting truth rise instead of pushing it down, about letting pain be heard instead of silenced, about giving yourself permission to be, even when it's messy. Your breakthrough isn't somewhere far away. It isn't waiting for you to become more deserving. It's here, in the quiet space between resistance and surrender. It's been waiting for you to stop fighting long enough to feel it. You're tired because you're trying too hard to understand. You keep asking why it hurt, why it happened the way it did, why nothing makes sense no matter how many nights you've spent picking it apart in your head. You've become an archaeologist of your own pain, digging through every memory, every conversation, every decision, trying to find the one answer that will finally let you breathe. You replay moments like crime scenes, hoping that
If you stare at the wound long enough, it'll finally tell you why it exists. But here's a truth that no one gives you gently enough. Some things were never meant to be understood. They were meant to be felt, to be carried for a while, and then slowly, gently released. Your exhaustion isn't weakness. It's the weight of questions that were never meant to be answered. It's the fatigue of fighting your own heart just to make sense of what broke it. You don't need to understand everything to heal. You don't have to keep digging into the ashes just to find a reason why the fire burned. Sometimes healing begins the moment you allow yourself to stop searching. Peace doesn't always come wrapped in clarity. Sometimes it comes in silence, in letting the questions sit without demanding they speak, in trusting that your heart can carry what your mind cannot explain. Let the questions remain unanswered. Let the ache breathe without trying to fix it. You're not broken because you don't have all the answers. You're human, and that's enough. Surrender isn't giving up. There comes a moment, usually quiet, often unexpected, when you stop fighting the current and simply let yourself float.
Not because you've given up, but because you finally realized that forcing everything into place doesn't create peace. It just makes the cracks louder. You've spent so long holding everything together, the plans, the expectations, the pain, the image of what life was supposed to look like. You clenched your fists around certainty, believing if you just tried hard enough, it would all make sense. But healing doesn't work that way. You can't wrestle your way into becoming whole. Surrender isn't about abandoning hope. It's about softening enough to let life meet you where you are. It's whispering, I may not understand, but I trust there's something bigger than this moment. It's realizing that sometimes the only way to find your ground is to stop resisting the fall. The river was never yours to control. It's been carrying you all along. And the moment you stop fighting its flow, you'll realize it never meant to drown you. It was trying to lead you somewhere new. Letting go doesn't erase the pain, but it opens the door to something gentler, a quiet strength that comes not from control, but from trust. One day, not in a cinematic, fireworks kind of way, but quietly, almost unnoticed, you'll look around and realize something inside you has shifted. Not because you forced it, not because you finally solved every unanswered question, but because you allowed yourself to live through it. You'll realize healing was never hiding in a single moment of clarity. It lived in the small, ordinary moments, when you sat in the silence without trying to escape it, when you stopped trying to prove you were okay, when you let your heart speak louder than your fear. Real change is quiet. It doesn't come crashing in. It seeps through the cracks of everything you thought was broken, reminding you that even the pieces can learn how to hold light again. You will still have days that ache. You will still wake up sometimes with questions burning in your chest. But slowly, they won't control the rhythm of your breathing anymore. They'll just exist, like echoes in the background. And you'll keep moving, not because you're fixed, but because you're free. This is what healing really looks like. Not a clean ending, not a perfect answer, but a quiet unfolding, a steady return to yourself. And if these words found you, it's not by accident. Something in you is already softening, already opening, already learning how to trust again. So breathe. Let it happen at its own pace. Let the light reach you where it couldn't before. If this message resonated with your heart, let it stay with you. And if you want more reminders like this, don't just scroll away. Like, subscribe. Let this be the start of something softer.